Take a look at the grid for the Belgian Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel snatched pole position away from Lewis Hamilton to give Ferrari another pole in this season. He took pole by 0.088 of a second to Hamilton in second, with Rosberg consolidating with only third. The Williams pairing were back together again on the grid, with Massa in fourth and Bottas returning to the top 10 in fifth. Romain Grosjean keeps Lotus's good form running by qualifying in sixth, with the Spaniard of Sainz in seventh. The lone Red Bull of Ricciardo lines up behind his sister teammate, with Hülkenberg and Verstappen rounded out the top 10 for tomorrow's race. Can Vettel fight off the two Mercedes and grab a win for Ferrari? And can Lotus keep their good form running with a good result tomorrow? Next up, it's the Belgian Grand Prix.
What's going on, guys? Aarava here. Welcome back to my F1 Ultra Mod career mode. We're back with episode number 12 today for the Belgium Grand Prix here at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. We had an absolute fantastic episode last time out at the Hungarian Grand Prix. If you have missed that one, you haven't checked it out yet, then go check it out. It was uploaded last week, and click the channel name below and you can go see it on the channel. It was absolutely awesome and a great way to end it. Not going to spoil anything of it, but hopefully we can have another really awesome race. There was plenty of overtakes, plenty of action, and here at Spa, I said it previously at the end of the Hungarian video that Spa is always one of my favorite tracks to go to for Ultramod. It just always ends up being a very tight, close race. A lot of action up Rouge, down the Kemmel Straight, also down the back straight. It's really great, so I'm really looking forward to it. We're all set up, we're ready to go. Overcast conditions, there could be some rain today to spice it up, so it's all to play for here in the championship and for this race. Let's get going to the grid for the Belgium Grand Prix. Right, here we are. It is time for the Belgium Grand Prix. 44 laps ahead of us. Overcast conditions at the moment, and rain is predicted for later on. Should be quite a tasty one. We go to 5 red lights for the Belgium Grand Prix. We're off. We're about halfway through the season, so this is getting to crunch time now. We're going to continue our run of form from Hungary now and see what we can do at this race. We go towards turn 1. Already a little bit of carbon fibre flying, as I think that's Ericsson who has lost his front wing there, and then a Red Bull out of nowhere just parked in the middle of the road. So we're very, very lucky not to have T-boned whoever that was in the Red Bull, and Button there also getting caught up. We go side by side with Fernando Alonso in the McLaren Honda. We just about get him, and look at this, the run we've got up Rouge. Nasser going so slowly. I think he's popping off to Tesco in the middle of that, in that corner. And now look at this, up into Rich Mix. Look at the sense of speed we have in the car right now. We go down the Kemmel Straight. We're already up into P11 now by the end of the straight. That was an absolutely fantastic run up Rouge, and that was just great. Just a great sense of speed there. But now coming to sector 2, we're having to get brake checked a little bit by Felipe Massa there. Gonna have to watch out for Sergio Perez, who is right behind us. We understeered a little bit. Is he gonna maybe come down the inside? He looks at it, he's looking at it, but he just managed to we just managed to keep ahead of him there, and we're still in P11 thankfully. So very hectic start to the Grand Prix. Red Bull seemingly crashing with the Sauber, I think that must have been that sort of contact, and so that helped us a little bit up into Rouge. So now onto lap 2, you can see another car losing its front wing, and this is Felipe Massa now, who's lost it on the back of a car, and actually he takes off a bit of our front wing as well, and it must have been on Verstappen, who's now up ahead of us in 9th place. So Massa, another casualty for the realistic damage there. So 3 cars so far who have lost their front wings, and at the moment you can see down the top left, before we got onto the action with Massa, you can see my teammate Sebastian Vettel was in 1st place, so that is very good to see, because obviously we still have to try and fight Mercedes in the Constructors. I can't do it by myself. I need my teammate Sebastian to pull his weight in the Constructors to try and help us win that championship, not just the drivers I'm looking at. But now onto lap 2, we make a very aggressive move on Max Verstappen. We move to the left, then to the right, a little shimmy and shake to try and get him, but no, he's not phased by it. The youngster completely unfazed. Now let's see what we can do. We're going side by side through that final corner, side by side down the pit straight now. Remember, on F1 2015, Verstappen seemingly had no chill, but it looks like on this game he's actually quite well programmed and quite well behaved, because he's still going side by side with us. We'll just about try and squeeze him out, but no, we're still going side by side with the youngster, and just only now do we get right up ahead of him, and he's going to tuck in, maybe try and get the DRS on us, and obviously it's activated this lap, so look at that, we're losing a little bit of speed. Proximity arrow is right there on our car, so he's going to have DRS and some slipstream. Will that Toro Rosso, powered by a Renault engine, be able to overtake us? He's going to have a look at it. He's actually coming side by side with us, but I hopefully think we will get him in the braking zone. Not the first part. Second part, just through to the left-hander. We just about squeeze him out, and yes, we do finally get 9th place there. That was very, very close. Very, very close. He actually outbroke us there in the first phase of the corner, but then in the second phase, I was able to just kind of roll the car through a little bit better than he could. And now on to lap 3 now. Ricciardo going very slow through Blanchimont, and we just go right around the outside of him. Fantastic stuff. Down the inside of Sainz, maybe on the outside of the bus stop. He's going to try and push us out. He has actually pushed us out wide, so you have to defend from Ricciardo now. So he nearly made a double overtake before the bus stop. So it's only turned out to be 1, but that was one fantastic overtake on Daniel Ricciardo, who was going very slow off. So he tried to have a look at Sainz and then got kind of mixed up, not looking behind him, and then I just came along and steamrolled past him on the left-hander, right around the outside. So we're up into P8 now, but Ricciardo is going to have a look, I think, up into Eau Rouge, maybe. No, he tucks in behind for what will be DRS straight after Eau Rouge up the Kemmel straight. We'll have to see if he's going to try and make a move like his counterpart in the Toro Rosso. Let's see. He's going to move to the left. I move to the right to try and defend the inside line. Now, let's see. Is that Renault engine in the Red Bull going to be the same as the Toro Rosso? He makes a good try, but this time, unlike Verstappen, maybe Ricciardo's maybe being a bit more cautious, whereas Verstappen has no fear as the 18-year-old in his first season in Formula 1. Ricciardo did not try and outbrake me there like Verstappen did, so just showing the difference in kind of the level of commitment there from between the two drivers. But now, we can't to lap 5. We're chasing down Carlos Sainz, who's making a move on the Lotus of Romain Grosjean. Now, the identical move to the one we did on lap 1, literally with DRS right around on the right-hand side of the Kemmel straight, up into 6th place this time. But that was literally so identical to the same move we made in lap 1. It's actually uncanny, so that's absolutely awesome. 2 places in the span of one little straight, and we're up into 6th place. Bottas up ahead in 5th. I'm guessing then, I'm not sure who's in 4th then. I can't quite think who would be in 4th, but I'm sure Hamilton, Vettel and Rosberg are fighting it out for P1 in those top 3 slots. But now we cut onto lap 5 down the back straight. We can see Bottas is 5 seconds down the road, so we're closing on him slowly. But the thing is, Ricciardo right behind us is not letting go of us. He's managed to stick with us through that lap and through Blanchimont here. He's closing up here towards the bus stop chicane. Will he actually try and make a move? He's side by side with us a little bit. He's just getting his nose side by side with me. Rosberg set the fast lap of the Grand Prix. I mistakenly put it down to neutral there for a second, so that's annoyingly slowed me down a little bit. And you can see behind me in the mirrors, that's a Toro Rosso also battling with the Red Bull. So we've got 2 bulls charging towards me, 2 different colours, one kind of maroon, one kind of a brick red. And so now we've got to try and worry about if one of them is going to get DRS up Eau Rouge, or even try and chase me down up towards Eau Rouge, as Ricciardo's actually doing that. Will he go side by side with me up Eau Rouge? Who's going to have the bigger balls? It's going to be me through Eau Rouge. Ricciardo backs off a little bit, but this time he's going to try again, trying to overtake us down the back end of the Kemmel straight. Will he this time try and outbrake us? Let's see. As you can see, the Toro Rossos also getting there, and it could actually be the Toro Rossos. They both go side by side with me. Carlos Sainz goes right around the outside of me. He gets us, and he's up into 6th place. I managed to fend off Ricciardo, but I got absolutely swamped there by the 2 Red Bulls. I broke a little bit earlier there, but they actually completely swamped me. I didn't actually expect that, so we now need to try and worry about getting back on Carlos Sainz at the end of lap 6, down the back straight. We've had a really good exit off this corner on the double right-hander, and look at this, lovely little slingshot here. We should be in the slipstream. Let's see, can we make a move maybe on the inside? No, the outside, we switch to it through Blanchimont. Can we go around the outside again? It's very, very close, very, very tight, and that is P6, got on again. We're absolutely loving Spa here. Absolutely awesome racing. I said it at the beginning of the episode. I absolutely love coming here at Spa. It's always such a thrilling Grand Prix for the Ultramod season. Always awesome to race on. And the time absolutely flies by here in the 100% race. We've had so much action, and we're only on lap 7. So at some point, you must say there must be a dull period in the Grand Prix, because we've had so much action in lap 7. It's impossible to have this much action for all 44 laps. So now we're on lap 7 through the Kemmel straight. You can see we're up into P5 now. If you were eagle-eyed viewers, you could see on the top left that we're actually down to 14 cars now. There were 15, we're now down to 14, and Bottas dropped off. So Bottas has had some sort of incident, maybe with Hulkenberg, who's the one in 4th place. I couldn't decipher who was there in 4th place. It was Hulkenberg in the end. So maybe he had some contact with Hulkenberg, because now he's seemingly out the Grand Prix. So we're up into P5, cutting later on to lap 8 now. You can see the rain that I was talking about at the beginning of the episode is now here upon us. The team want us to pit right now. This is actually our scheduled dry tyre pit stop, so we're actually going to stay out, because what is the point of coming in for dry tyres if it's starting to rain now? We might as well try and stretch these out till it's fully time to come onto the intermediate tyres. Unfortunately, on the flip side though, the other drivers around me are not doing the same. Hulkenberg is in for a pit stop, and I'm going to guess he's going to be in for his set of dry tyres, because I don't think I've ever seen AI drivers come in early for intermediates. That's a very, very rare thing to see. So I'm pretty sure Hulkenberg there mistakenly has come in for dry tyres. A little bit silly of him, but you know, that's what they usually do. So we're on lap 11 now. 3 laps later, we're still on these dry tyres. You can see it's pretty wet. You can see quite a lot of spray coming off the tyres, but I've actually got really good grip, and strangely enough, I've got quite good grip. I mean, out of the corners, you can see the wheels are speeding up, but mid-corner grip is actually still really good, and you can see now people in the pits, 2 people exactly to be exact. Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel are in the pits now. They'll be onto the intermediate tyres, I'm guessing, but on lap 12, we're going to continue on. I've actually got surprisingly good grip through Sector 2. We might lose a bit in Sector 1 and Sector 3, but we're gaining enough time in Sector 2 that there's no point to come in yet. So it's a lot like Silverstone 2014 in qualifying, where you can gain so much in one sector that it's not too much bother that you're losing some time in other sectors. So on lap 14, you can see we're actually closing up on Nico Rosberg, who I believe has already made his pit stop for intermediate tyres, and in that case, we're actually doing really amazing to catch him up in Sector 2, and only now on lap 14, you can see a little bit of twitch in that second sector through that right-hander. You can see now, only now are we twitching a little bit in Sector 2. It might be time to come in this lap or the next lap. We'll see about that. All the while, Vettel and Hamilton are on intermediates. They're slowly reeling us in, but so far, so good. This plan is working. The grip has been good. The lap times haven't really been atrocious. They've actually been pretty damn decent. So for now, I think this plan is going to work out for us, and now we're going to come in for intermediate tyres. Now, you may think this a little bit crazy, but I think you're going to see we are going to gain some net time on all these runners. You may think we may have lost some time there with a little twitching there in lap 14, but I strongly believe we have gained a net advantage on these guys around us, especially Hamilton and Vettel. And I think we probably will overtake Hulkenberg outright even before he comes to us. I don't think we'll have to make an overtake on track. I mean, a bit of a mixed up wording there. Yeah, I mean, we don't have to overtake him on track, because you can see here on the mini map on the bottom left, no one's around. We're going to come out here on into intermediate tyres, green wall tyre, and look at that. Hulkenberg is actually 22 seconds apparently. I'm guessing that's his dot on the mini-map there coming through. So we've overtaken Hulkenberg through the pit stop phases. We're closed up on Hamilton and Vettel. We're a lot nearer to them than we were before in the dry period. So really, that has worked out an absolute treat for us. That's absolutely awesome for us. That worked out really well. And that was actually quite surprising that we gained so much time. And that was a lot like Brazil 2012, you must say, where they were on dry tyres, but it was very wet and damp. So it was a lot like that. But now we come to lap 16. 2 laps later, we've been catching Hamilton quite a lot there. You can actually see, I think that's his car up in the distance, and we've caught him quite a lot there. We had a lot of grip in the second sector again. But there you see, Hamilton is into the pits again. And I don't quite know why. At this point, I was very, very confused at why Hamilton had come straight into the pits 2 laps after I had made a pit stop, and 3 laps after, or 4 laps after I should say, he made a pit stop onto intermediate tyres. It's not like his inters had worn out, and Vettel was also into the pits. So we're up into second. I was very, very confused at this point. Lap 17, the same lap, the very next lap I should say, and we're into the second sector. You can see in the second sector, I'm actually struggling for grip now. It's almost like the track is dried up again, and Sebastian Vettel is now right behind us, catching us up, and we're understeering like an absolute bus through the right-hander, and I wonder what tyres Vettel are on. He's on the dry tyres. What on earth has gone on with the weather? I am so confused. I was absolutely losing my mind. How is it dried up in 2 laps time? It's almost like a kind of weather front, a cloud of weather that was dropping rain on the circuit kind of just came through and swiftly just left straight away. So there was like a little shower, but it literally just went away within 2 laps time, which is really annoying, because now we're in again on lap 18 for another set of dry tyres, and I'm annoyed because technically we could have maybe stayed out potentially. We could have actually gone all the way till, you know, now on dry tyres, and we would have, you know, gained 20 seconds with that, you know, one less pit stop, if you know what I mean. You know, the tyres would have eventually worn out, yes, but we could have made it till this lap 18 on just the option tyres we're on, because we only used those inters for 2 laps, and to be honest, we could have struggled through those 2 laps and maybe made it work. So that was a little bit of a head scratch for me, so that was a little bit weird. On lap 26 now, so quite some way later into the Grand Prix, I did say eventually there would have to be a dull period in this Grand Prix. There is in every single Grand Prix, where you're inevitably just going to try and chase lap time and try and push as hard as you can. That's exactly what I've been doing, and we're trying to chase down Lewis Hamilton. We've got it to about 10 seconds, I think that was in the top left. I couldn't quite see, but it's now time for our next pit stop. Obviously, the option tyres aren't going to go that long, so it's time for our next scheduled pit stop. We've actually still got a bit of front wing damage, so I'm not sure if that was still from the beginning of the Grand Prix. I can't exactly remember too well. I'm not sure where that came from, so we're going to have a front wing change and a change of tyres. We're actually going to go into the option tyres again, because obviously the rain has come, and therefore by the rules of the FIA, we don't have to put on the prime tyres. We don't have to put on the slower tyre. We can just keep on putting these softer tyres, the faster tyre. So we're going to make this pit stop for option tyres. I'm going to come in one last time before the end of the Grand Prix. So there's about, how many laps is that? Doing some mental math. 17 laps left for the Grand Prix, give or take, obviously including this lap. And so we're going to come in for one final stop eventually, probably maybe around lap 31, I'm going to guess, for another set of option tyres, and that will take us through to the end. At the moment we're down in P5, but Hulkenberg will make his pit stop eventually, so we will get back up into P4. And so then it's just about chasing down Hamilton, chasing down Vettel, my teammate. And speaking of Vettel, on lap 33, Sebastian Vettel is down to 3rd place, so that means Hamilton has overtaken him and made it a 1-2 for Mercedes, which is a bit unfortunate. Hopefully he can try and get back at him. But saying that as well, you can see, just look at the track, it's raining again. So, a very, very mixed up Grand Prix. It's raining again, and I was so suspicious of this rain. I was thinking, hang on, is this going to be the exact same thing that just happened to me before? Is it going to rain for, like, you know, 5 seconds? Is it going to be like a weather front coming through and it's just going to go like that? So I was very, very cautious as to making a pit strategy call. As you can see, we've still got plenty of grip through Rouge and whatnot, so we're not going to make a pit stop anytime soon, but we've only got 10 laps left in this Grand Prix. If there is another weather front that just comes in and goes in 4 laps time, I am definitely not making a pit stop for intermediate tyres. There's just no point of doing that. So we're on lap 36 now. 2 laps later, my team want me to come in for the scheduled dry tyre pit stop. So if it wasn't raining, I would come in right now for another set of option tyres. But we've got, 8 laps left in the Grand Prix. It is still raining, and my teammate, we're right on the same straight. You can see the yellow dot was there on the minimap. They're going slowly. Vettel and Hamilton are both going slowly. It seems like in these changeable conditions, it really proves who is doing better in the, with their car, because I'm able to close up on Hamilton and Vettel quite a lot in the changeable conditions. And now, onto lap 38, you can see P3, that's for us, because Vettel has already made his pit stop. Hamilton is there into the pits, and they're both on to the intermediate tyres. We've got 5 laps left in this Grand Prix. They're both onto the inters. Rosberg's onto the inters. He's 49 seconds ahead of us. So P1, it's out of the question, but can we risk it for a chocolate biscuit for P2 here? Can we go to the end on these option tyres? We did it before in the beginning of the Grand Prix. We managed to just about skate our way through to the, through that first phase of rain. Can we do it again? We're on to lap 43 now. 2 laps left of this Grand Prix left, including the one we're on right now. Hamilton is closing up on us. He's closing up quite rapidly, but we've only got 2 laps left of this Grand Prix. 1.5 by this time as we come to the second sector. P1's out of the question. Can we try and secure P2? Let's see what the gap is going to be. I don't think it's going to be too much, so we are going to have to be wary of Hamilton. He's about 5 seconds behind us. 5 seconds. We've got good grip in this second sector. As I already mentioned, we're gaining quite a lot in Sector 2, so that's negating any time we lose in Sector 1 and 3. So this is all going to be about calculations. This is where all the strategy pays off and all the kind of engineering calculations you do in real life on the pit board. But I'm having to do it in my own head, obviously, while I'm racing, because obviously in the game there's no engineers for you. You have to do your own thinking, which is, quite a cool thing about why I like F1 games. You have to do all the thinking on the fly. So we're on the last lap here. Hamilton is about 3 seconds behind us, give or take. Is he going to catch us? Is he going to catch 3 seconds in 1 lap? That is the question, and that is what I'm putting a bit of a gamble on. We're putting it all on red, as they say, or all on black. I can't quite remember the saying of the gambling saying or whatnot, but we're putting it on some colour on the gambling board here, and we're going to see if we can try and go to the end. Hamilton is close to second in that first sector. Pretty much if the Grand Prix continued on right now, I would have to pit this lap because now it is far too wet in sector 1 and 2 and 3 now for me to go on. Sector 2 is now got to a point where I'm not getting enough time, and Hamilton now is right there. We squeeze him out a little bit, but through Pouon, we're understeering a little bit. Is he going to try and make a move? Hamilton right up our gearbox. He actually forces his way through, and Hamilton there has blasted through for P2. We're down to P3. It's the first time in this entire race I've actually got some wet spray on my screen for the first time ever, so just showing that it definitely is now time for intermediate tyres. Nico Rosberg has won this Grand Prix. Unfortunately, we tried to make a gamble. It didn't quite work. Hamilton has got us there. He actually really forced the matter through. I guess he's really determined to try and get his season back on track because he really powered his way through there for second place through Pouon. And so he's up into second place. He'll make it a 1-2 for Mercedes, which is really unfortunate for me. I don't know quite where Vettel's gone as well. He's not in P4, so that's even more upsetting that we will lose a lot of points to Mercedes here because I do not know where Sebastian is. But this is going to be P3, unfortunately. You know what, you get these races, you try a bit of a gamble. You know, I thought maybe from the start of the Grand Prix, what we saw, I can make the gamble work, but it just wasn't meant to be. So we're going to finish in P3, but I'm not upset. P3 is absolutely amazing for us, for Ferrari. That's another podium in our season, and... Wait, hang on, actually. We're in P2 now. Okay, we're in P2. I thought we were in P3, and now we're in P2. Lewis Hamilton has won the Grand Prix. Nico Rosberg was like 49 seconds ahead of us. 49 seconds ahead of Lewis, I should say. And now he's 46 seconds behind us. What on earth has gone on there? I am stumped. I do not know what's gone on there. So we have been promoted to second place. I'm not complaining. Hamilton in first. Our teammate Sebastian, there you go, unfortunately has DNF'd. So that's rather annoying. But Rosberg has somehow gone down to P3. He's not got a penalty. Look, there's no flashing penalty signs. So, I'm not sure. Has the stewards come in with a post-race decision? I'm not too sure. I am completely confused, and I literally have no explanation for you guys on that. So, that's a rather confusing end to the Grand Prix, but that means we're still first place in the championship, 179 points to Rosberg's 170, so he's only 9 points behind us. Vettel stays put with 134, Hamilton gains up with 131, so it's all getting very close for P3 and P4 and P1 and P2 respectively, with that little two-way battle between first and second and third and fourth. So that's been a very confusing end to the Grand Prix, but nonetheless, that was a really fun Grand Prix. I must admit that 44 laps flew by. Absolute awesome stuff to race, and as I proved again, you know, Spa always ends up being a fantastic race for the Ultra Mod. So guys, if you have enjoyed that as much as I did to race it, smash that like button. Absolutely awesome. We're going to try and get 1,500 likes on this episode, guys. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're new around here, then do subscribe for weekly videos. I've been Aarava. Hope the rest of the day, and I'll see you guys next time for the Italian Grand Prix, our home race. See you then.